Welcome to Part 3 of Know the Code, Academic Dishonesty. The first portion of this presentation will focus on the policies around academic honesty and academic dishonesty and misconduct, as well as the definitions of the different types of academic dishonesty. Academic honesty is a core value at the Sage Colleges and is a necessary element to the learning process. It is also fundamental to the atmosphere of inquiry and intellectual curiosity that the Sage Colleges seeks to foster. It is an assumption that learning is taken seriously by students, and that the academic work that students produce is a direct result of the commitment of the knowledge toward learning, as well as the personal knowledge gained. Academic dishonesty and misconduct violate the essential mission of an academic institution. Academic dishonesty and misconduct in any of its forms will not be tolerated at the Sage Colleges. Examples of academic dishonesty and misconduct include A. Using material not authorized by the instructor to complete an exam. B. Knowingly doing another person's academic work. C. Presenting the written ideas, representations, or words of another without citing the appropriate sources. And D. Failing to cooperate in the investigation of any student being accused of academic dishonesty or misconduct. Cheating. The Sage Colleges describes cheating as obtaining or attempting to obtain or aiding another to obtain credit for work or any improvement in the evaluation of performance by dishonest or deceptive means. Cheating includes, but is not limited to, lying, copying from another's test or examination, discussion at any time of answers or questions on an examination or test unless such discussion is specifically authorized by the instructor, taking or receiving copies of an exam without the permission of the instructor, using or displaying notes, cheat sheets, or other information devices inappropriate to the prescribed test conditions, or allowing someone other than the officially enrolled student to represent themselves. Cheating also includes, but is not limited to, the use of any unauthorized assistance in taking quizzes, tests, or examinations, consulting or copying from any source beyond those authorized by the instructor and writing papers, preparing reports, solving problems, or carrying out other assignments, the acquisition without permission of tests or other academic materials belonging to a member of the Sage Colleges community, disclosing, distributing, making accessible, or improperly accessing confidential information acquired in the conduct of coursework, on or off campus employment, internships, field placements, or serving as a research assistant, failing to obtain Institutional Review Board (IRB) approval before beginning any research, including surveys or questionnaires with human subjects, or failing to comply with IRB requirements, and finally, unauthorized use of the computer equipment or software available to you on campus. Plagiarism. Plagiarism is defined as the act of using the ideas or work of another person or persons as if they were one's own without giving proper credit to the source. Such an act is not plagiarism if it is ascertained that the ideas were arrived through independent reasoning or logic, or where the thought or idea is common knowledge. Acknowledgement of original author or source must be made through appropriate references, such as quotation marks, footnotes, or commentary. Examples of plagiarism include, but are not limited to, the following: the submission of a work, either in part or in whole, completed by another; failure to give credit for ideas, statements, facts, or conclusions which rightfully belong to another; failure to use quotation marks or another means of setting apart, such as the use of indentation or a different font size when quoting directly from another, whether it be a paragraph, a sentence, or even a part thereof; or close and lengthy paraphrasing of another's writing without credit or originality; and finally, the use of another's project or programs or part thereof without giving proper credit. Multiple submissions. SAGE defines multiple submissions as submitting substantial portions of the same academic work for credit more than once without authorization. Complicity in academic dishonesty and misconduct. Complicity is defined as intentionally helping or attempting to help another commit an act of academic dishonesty or misconduct, or unauthorized collaboration on any academic work. Abuse of materials. Abuse of materials is defined as damaging, destroying, stealing, or in any way obstructing access to library or other academic resource material or academic record. Alteration. Alteration is defined as changing or attempting to change a grade or signature given by an instructor. The next portion of this presentation will introduce you to the process for responding to academic dishonesty and misconduct. If a faculty member believes a student has violated SAGE's academic honesty policy, they will notify the respondent of the charge of academic dishonesty and misconduct. The student must be notified in writing with a copy to the academic dean and the dean of students. The written notification should include a brief description of the alleged misconduct that forms the basis of the charge, the sanctions to be imposed, limited to those listed below, and a description of the appeal options available to the student. A faculty member may take any of the following disciplinary actions when a student engages in an act of academic misconduct. A. A written reprimand. B. A 0 or F on the assignment involved. C. An F in the class involved. Or D. Revocation or change of grade. If the violation warrants consideration of a more severe remedy, the faculty member will contact the Vice President for Student Life to file formal charges and request the initiation of the student conduct hearing process described in Part 2. In cases where more than 2 students are involved in the same alleged violation, the faculty member will forward the case directly to the Vice President for Student Life. The Vice President for Student Life will review the matter and determine if it is of an extraordinary nature. After review, the Vice President for Student Life will either refer the case back to the faculty member for immediate action or refer it to a student conduct board. In either case, the assignment of final grades is determined by the faculty member. As with all other grades, the academic appeal process is available to a student who wishes to question the grade assigned. In the case of repeat academic dishonesty or misconduct, the academic dean of the college may contact the Vice President for Student Life to request that charges be filed against the student. The dean of the college may serve as a co-complainant in any resulting student conduct board hearing. The final portion of this presentation will cover the process for academic dishonesty and misconduct appeals. If a student wishes to appeal a grade assigned by a faculty member based on a finding that the student has engaged in academic dishonesty or misconduct, the student may utilize the academic appeals process. The process is as follows. A. The student should submit a formal written appeal with rationale within 2 business days of receiving the decision from the faculty member to the department chair or program coordinator of that subject area. The department chair or program coordinator has 10 days to make a decision on this appeal. B. If the student is not in agreement with the decision from the department chair or program coordinator, they may appeal within 2 business days to the dean of the college in which the course resides. The dean has 10 days to make a decision on this appeal. C. If the student is not in agreement with a decision from the dean, a final appeal may be made within 2 business days to the provost of the SAGE colleges. If a student wishes to appeal a sanction imposed through the student conduct board hearing process, the student may utilize the process set forth in the Student Code of Conduct. This concludes Part 3, the final part of the Student Code of Conduct review. Please proceed to the quiz located on the Sage College's Student Code of Conduct Moodle page. Remember, you're required to score at least a 90% to pass the course. You may retake the quiz as many times as you need.